Two idiots talking over stuff. Talking over. Talking over. Talking over.
Wow.
Wow.
What's up, you fucking idiot?
What's up, fellow idiot?
Well, I made this cool theme song, but now I can't use it anymore.
I think the one we have is just great.
I don't know. I got a lot of complaints.
I don't think that's true. Who's complaining?
There were
Show
just
me
like
the complaint.
there were like a lot of people on the Discord.
The Discord that I'm also a part of and can see the messages.
Yeah, but it's in they were posting in the graffiti channel, so that gets cleared out every 24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there were a lot of people complaining that
Wow.
the theme song wasn't insulting enough to you. So that's what I was going on when I made the new one.
Well, that's really fascinating because right now there's only like 6 people in the Discord. So
yeah, it was all
I could
6
just
of
go
them.
in there. I could go in there and like ban them all for cyberbullying.
It was all 6 of them, my wife included, and she was Miriam was probably the most harsh about it. She really wanted me to insult you in the theme song. So that
doesn't sound like Miriam.
What I was doing, but I guess it was not good enough for you. So maybe I don't know, maybe I'll take another crack at it down the road.
Interesting. I wonder if I made a theme song that was bullying you, what the kind of general consensus would be.
Would you sing it
Sound off in the Discord.
Would you sing it like Drowning Morgan Freeman?
Maybe.
Because if that's the case, I would upvote that. I think we would use that forever.
Cool.
If I do the music, will you do Drowning Morgan Freeman singing?
Honestly, I don't think I could realistically get through that without just laughing the whole time.
Well, we do it like Stanley Kubrick, so it's like 500 takes until you're broken as a human being.
Oh, love that.
Or David Lynch.
Yeah.
Who are you?
I'm Felicia. I'm one of the hosts of this podcast. My social media presence is at Felicia3 on Twitter and Instagram.
And I'm Jesse. I'm the other host of this podcast and theme song extraordinaire. Or I used to be. I used to think I was. And you can find me on Twitter at @LByNight and Instagram. If you look real hard in the cracks, you can locate me there. The social media for the podcast is at Tito's Pod, basically everywhere, but we're only active on Twitter right now, I think. Maybe Instagram, but I haven't looked.
I have not posted anything.
Okay, so we're just active on Twitter right now. Oh, and also YouTube. I'm starting to go through greater lengths to make the YouTube videos cooler for the watch along.
Fuck yeah.
And that should really kick off this week. I found a way to do like visual time codes so people can sync to the time code instead of just the sound, which should help you if you need to, like, if your power goes out or whatever. Anyway, our website is www.idiots.fm. All of those social media links are at the top. You can listen to the show there, or you can email us at hello@idiots.fm.
Heck yeah.
And our Discord's also linked at the top. That Discord we were talking about before. There's definitely more than 6 people in there. Felicia's selling us short.
But go ahead and go in the Discord and just tell us who you would rather have bully who in the theme song.
Yeah. Please go in the Discord and definitely tell us who should get bullied more, because I think it's gonna be Felicia based on.
I'm pretty sure it's gonna be Jesse.
Nah.
I'm like 98.7% sure.
Nah. Why would it be me? I'm fucking adorable. I'm a delightful human being. Whereas
it's questionable.
You I'm just saying there's a reason that crows gather around you.
Yeah, because I'm really cool.
What if that was true? What if the coolest people in humanity just were fucking surrounded by crows. How would you feel if no crows were near you?
Pretty bad.
I feel like I would be a no crow guy.
Well, we can't all have an army of crows at our disposal.
In the silent parts, listen for Felicia's army of crows.
Yeah. I don't know that I've heard crows today. Certainly other birds, but we'll find out in the
it's not usually this show. I hear them in the watch along for some reason, but I think maybe when I'm editing that
we're quieter.
Yeah, there's more quiet time.
Yeah.
Anything new in your life?
I'm worried about my cat. I might have to take him to the vet. He's having some pee-pee trouble.
Oh.
And that involves me establishing a relationship with a vet. And I have anxiety.
Oh.
I'm also just worried because he's a very weird cat. So I feel like I'm going to pay all this money and they're just going to be like, yeah, he just wants attention.
You're inspecting the litter box every time he goes and leaves?
Yeah.
And no pee-pee?
He's pee-peeing, but then he keeps... I don't know how fascinating this is for everyone listening, but he's definitely going. It's just that he keeps going back to the litter box and trying to pee more and then not being able to.
Oh.
And I've looked it up, and apparently signs of cat UTIs are going outside of the litter box and meowing like he's in pain when he's trying to go.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't do either of those things. But my cat is very, very vocal and has a lot of different meows. And he has this frustrated grunt he does usually when he's upset that I'm not out of bed yet.
Yeah.
And it's very much like a person kind of grumbling to themselves. So I've heard him do that a couple times in the litter box. So it's like he's going, come on, pee.
I hope he's okay.
Me too.
That's the worst. Pets being sick is the fucking worst.
I know. He's eating fine, he's playing, he's sleeping fine, so I hope he's just being a little weirdo.
That could be. There could be a bug in there too that he's into. Or a mouse.
Oh God, I hope not.
Is there a mouse living in your wall?
I've thought maybe because the cat has been sniffing certain corners of the house.
Oh, that's not good.
I know,
that's
but I haven't
definitely
seen anything.
A sign.
Yeah. But I don't know why that would make him not want to pee.
No, I would think that would make him want to revisit that area if he can hear a mouse in the wall or whatever, or a lizard or something. Yeah, that's a sign for cats for sure.
Mm-hmm.
If they're chilling in an area, you should check that area.
Well, he keeps sniffing under the sink, and I've opened cabinets and I can't see anything, but he's convinced there's something there. So I don't know, maybe.
I forgot to write down what was new in my life, so I'm going off my memory, and that's never good. Work was kind of brutal this week, and nothing else really went on. One of our friends thought he had COVID, so I've been playing video games a shit ton with him.
As opposed to just playing video games a lot with him.
Yeah. Well, for instance, yesterday, so we record these on Sunday, and yesterday I started playing Fortnite at, I want to say 2 p.m. and I played Fortnite until we went into VR at 11 p.m.
Oh God, yeah. Jesus Christ. That's too much.
It was nonstop Fortnite and Fall Guys. It's
would break my brain.
Yeah.
I love playing with you guys, but I can't do that.
I was saying it's almost unmatched. I've almost never met anyone who can play games without breaking more than me. Because that's that's always been a superpower of mine. I could be on a computer constantly and my eyes don't really get tired, and I never...
It depends on the game, though. I can do that. I can zone out and do things like Skyrim, open world, just buildy and inventory management type games. I could do that forever. Or Sims. But Fortnite is a shoot 'em up game that's broken up into matches. And it's
Yeah.
And you're being social the whole time too. So I feel like that's a lot to play for a super extended period of time.
It's true. And it's the first time it's felt like a lot for me, because normally I could just do that. I used to actually make money leveling WoW characters, like World of Warcraft characters.
Who is paying you?
I would get the payment through PayPal, and I think I sold it through.
Just like people paid you to grind for them?
Yeah. There was a form, and I would have like, I was an enterprising young lad with that shit. Apparently. Because I would get like, I learned how to have a full group of like brand new accounts. So I would be controlling like 5 accounts at the same time, and I would level those up to max level and then sell those accounts. So there's like something in my brain where I don't have to stop playing video games. It used to be way worse back in the day. But yesterday was almost too much. So I think I'm getting too old.
Maybe. I have an interesting question for you, I think.
Uh-huh.
So I was hanging out with family this past weekend, and I have a family member who's like a little bit weird in the sense that they're just not like good socially and don't have a lot of friends. IRL.
Why would you think I'm qualified to talk about this person?
No, okay. But like even with family, super socially awkward.
Yeah.
And like nice person, but just like doesn't, inserts a lot of ideas that like nobody relates to this. Like, why did you bring this up? And
yeah,
kind of just awkward in general. But my mom was like, oh, you guys would get along. You have all the same interests and you like to play games with your friends and this and that. And I'm thinking to myself, but I'm cool.
Dude, dude, that's mom energy.
I know.
That's mom being like, now kiss. Because moms do that shit all the time. They're like,
it's true.
You kind of like games. You kind of like games. Now you're best friends in my eyes.
Yeah. I know that's kind of what it is, but it's in my mind, I'm like, well, it's different because I know the people I'm playing games with. They're my friends. And I'm like, well, I'm sure he thinks that too.
Yeah. But you also like, it's true.
Yeah.
You don't want to really play games with someone you can't converse with comfortably.
Yeah. But like people do that for shoot 'em up games. They just match with random squads and those people become their friends.
Oh man, I mute.
Like, yeah, me too.
I'll match with, if I match with a rando and I don't like them, it's like quick mute or I'm gone. I'll leave too. I'll do that.
The only game I ever played with people that I don't know is Overwatch, and I never had audio on for that.
Oh, you know what? You reminded me. Miriam had this exact experience that you're talking about. Either her book club friends or her D&D friends. She had a board game night. And they're trying to expand that group. It's like a girls' night thing. And they had this Discord server that they were on. And for some reason, like, I don't know however they were trying to expand it, but like some British dude showed up who had like 0 manners and was just not pleasant to play with. And he would like, I told Miriam, like, you really needed me there because I will crush someone's soul if I don't know them. I'll feel like
you shut that down quick.
I would be like, goodbye. And that person would be banned because first of all, they don't fit the criteria of what like you're looking for.
Right.
It was very clearly like a girls' night thing. And I don't know where they advertised it. Maybe Meetup. I don't know. But yeah, this random British dude shows up and they went on Board Game Arena with them and we're playing with him. And I'm like, what's happening? What do you mean? Like, it's a girls' night thing.
Too nice, apparently.
Oh yeah. So they're very nice. They're super nice. But this guy like suggested a game that only he knew how to play. And when they asked him how to play it, he said, read the rules. And then he like stomped them. He like destroyed them. And they still kept playing with him.
Yeah, that's a no. That's like a boot immediately. You don't even have to talk to that person. Just boot them.
Yeah. I was like, next time that happens, just bring me in there. I'm soulless.
Yeah.
I will destroy that person. I don't care.
I think the whole like comparison to this family member for me hit because like we're kind of already an established friend group that through the course of the pandemic we're just looking for ways to spend more time with each other remotely
Yeah.
and like be able to talk while doing something. So I feel like that's where VR night came from, that's where Fortnite came from.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like we were just playing with randos and kind of built a community, which is fine if you've done that. But like, it was a weird comparison where I'm like, okay, I know that I'm introverted, but like, and I know that most of my friends aren't local, but I have friends.
Yeah. But that is kind of where like, that is kind of how we started with the VR and stuff. She's missing like key components of what you need to do, because you don't just start off playing games. Like we started off talking, and then we would have these like random Jackbox nights every now and again. So it was like very gradual.
Right. Yeah.
Gradually step through it, and then you get to the stuff that you have in common that you like doing together.
And believe me, if you had told me pre-pandemic that I'd regularly be playing Fortnite, a game I never thought I'd touch, with a group of guys I know mostly through the internet, I probably would not have been on board.
Yeah, me neither. I hated the idea of Fortnite. I would have never touched it otherwise. All right, so that's what's new in our lives.
We went off a little bit, but
I also forgot to write down what I watched last week.
I don't think I necessarily watched anything new. Oh, I finished Stranger Things.
Oh, yeah.
It was good. I did cry quite a bit.
Yeah. For reasons we can't say, but I wanna.
Yeah. That was really the only new thing I watched. I still need to catch up on the last 2 episodes of The Boys, which I think they're the last 2 episodes of the season. I was gonna do that last night, but instead somebody was like, let's watch the fucking Showgirls documentary.
What? I'm going to see what that was called right now because I can't remember.
Something Know Me? You Don't Know Me?
Yeah, You Don't Know Me. I think it's from 2017. And that was way more interesting than I thought it was going to be.
It was interesting, but it's like, I haven't even seen Showgirls.
I haven't seen it in a really long time. I've
only seen the pool scene because people make fun of it so much.
I think I might have seen it in a theater.
Dang.
Maybe. Because when Showgirls came out, it was like a big deal that it was NC-17.
Yeah.
So I either saw it in a theater or I saw it like as soon as it came out on video. Actually, that's not something I would have gone to see in a theater.
I hope not.
Because in my neck of the woods, like where I lived, there were for sure would have been creepy dudes in there.
Ooh.
So I don't think I saw it in a theater. But yeah, I thought that documentary was really interesting and kind of deep dived the movie and did it in an entertaining way. Like the documentary.
But I think the problem was the documentary made it seem like you have to watch this movie. And like I wanted to until we finished the documentary and I was like, do I still want to watch Showgirls?
I don't know. So it's my opinion that you would still think that movie sucks, regardless of what that documentary ever says. So the documentary is like trying to make the case that Showgirls is a masterpiece of shit. Like it's like a Neil Breen or The Room. They're trying to like say that it's just a masterpiece of really bad media. But I remember when I watched it, it sucks. It's not good narratively.
Somebody said that they like managed to make the least sexy movie in the world, even though everyone is naked all the time.
Yeah.
And I can see that for sure because it doesn't feel erotic when she's like exorcist undulating on top of a man.
No, it's not. It's really bad. And I think the director was doing that on purpose. And I think he might have been like trolling. I think he wanted it to be that rating. So you would think you were coming into the sexy thing. And then it's just not. She's like unhinged and nuts and doing crazy shit.
Mm-hmm.
We watched Hot Shots Part 2 and Hot Shots.
Hot Shots was way better than Part 2 in my
Yeah,
opinion.
it was. Which is funny, because I remember liking Hot Shots Part 2 better because that movie had like a heavy marketing campaign when I was a kid. And it came out to Blockbuster Video and I would like rent it every week.
The first movie I saw in the Mummy series was The Mummy Returns, the second one. And like I saw it pretty young.
Mhm.
So as a kid, I thought like it was the shit. And I would watch it over and over and over again. And like then when I saw The Mummy, I felt like it was too serious because The Mummy Returns is super silly.
Mhm.
But then like now as an adult, of course I love the Mummy, and The Mummy Returns is like very silly, but I still like it. It's just I think your opinions change as an adult versus when you saw it as a kid.
Yeah. This one was like nuts though, because I was going into that thinking that Hot Shots Part 2 was leaps and bounds better than the first one, but I was completely...
That's what everyone seemed to think.
It was the complete reverse. I was like, oh, the first one was the fucking shit. It was really funny.
Yeah, the second one still had some good bits, but I felt like it dragged.
It did. It was just a mess.
Yeah.
So
I think that's because like the first one is specifically making fun of Top Gun. It's like a parody of Top Gun.
Yeah, like
whereas the second one, whereas the second one is more of a hodgepodge. It's like poking fun at a bunch of different movies, so it's a little bit more slapped together.
It was just really surprising. That was It was a weird moment, actually, a little weird because my memory was so wrong. What else did we watch? We watched, Brett Register from the Dream Warriors.
I like that that's his credit.
That's his
from
credit.
Dream Warriors, not from First Time Show, from Dream Warriors.
Well, it's for... Okay, so it's relevant to what I was going to say, but you're right. It's Brett Register. He's a director, and he was a host on the First Time Show with Steve Zaragoza and Owen Carter, which is a great podcast. He's also in the Dream Warriors, and we edit movies and ruin them. So Brett,
or make them better.
Or make
you could
them
argue.
better. I think we ruin them by making them better.
Yeah.
Or funnier. I'm not sure what the like actual description of what Dream Warriors does is.
I think potentially for Bill and Ted, you could argue you did not make it better.
No,
but for this
funnier.
next one, yeah,
it's definitely funnier.
Yes.
Anyway, so Brett Register decided to do a thing where he edits a movie and tries to change the narrative of the movie. And the first one he did it with was Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. And he edited all of the scenes where the kids and the parents are together out of the movie. So we watched that, which was like 40 minutes, and it completely and utterly changed the movie.
I wish that I had not been quite as tired as I was, because you watched that after Hot Shots Part 2, and I was fully falling asleep.
Yeah.
Like 30 minutes.
Oh, did you leave?
No, I left between Hot Shots and
Honey, I Shrunk
Honey.
Okay. So you didn't see the cut.
It. No.
It turns that movie into A Beautiful Mind. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah.
So because you're cutting the kids out of the movie, it's just Rick Moranis like searching around his backyard for these shrunken kids. And he looks like a psycho because you don't really see these kids. They just disappear. So it really highlights that their marriage is falling apart.
Oh no.
Because you take a lot of the levity out. So it becomes like a story about these parents with a failing marriage and Rick Moranis going insane.
Yikes.
And like hovering over his backyard in a contraption peeking through the grass.
Does it still read as a comedy, or is it more like just sad at that point?
No, yeah, it's kind of just sad. But it was really fun. I love that Brett did that. And then I did one that we're going to talk about later because it ties in. Didn't
Matt do something with Batman? I feel like Matt did an edit like that a while back too.
Oh, with the Batman. He cut in like a Mumbai version of Batman. Or something like that. So that's what we watched. I probably watched more stuff, but I honestly can't remember.
Yeah, I didn't really watch anything that we didn't watch together other than Stranger Things. And then I've just been replaying BioShock Infinite, which feels too real for a given time because it's like wildly, well, it wildly highlights racism and xenophobia. Yeah. But it's a real good game. I love the BioShock series. They're all very aesthetically pleasing to me.
I definitely played the first one. But,
yeah,
but it's been a long time.
BioShock Infinite is like a big departure from the first one. It's like the steampunky one. Yeah. And it's got more of a story, I feel like. I love them both, but they're super different games. BioShock is almost like survival horror, where Infinite is more like an adventure game.
Oh, I have a question.
Yes.
Why does it sound like there's men playing basketball in the background?
I'm so sorry. I'm trying to mute myself between when I'm talking, but so I decided to make bread.
Cool.
Which
I knew that. I was just being a dick.
I know. But okay, background on my bread machine, right?
Yeah.
So I bought it because there was a time where I had to be on a special diet for my thyroid and I wasn't allowed to eat regular salt. It had to be all kosher. So I could use kosher salt, but that means I couldn't buy anything like prepackaged, store-bought restaurant, anything. I had to make everything from scratch.
Right.
So I bought a bread machine to survive. And it turns out it's like the loudest fucking machine in the world. It will kick off after a little bit. It's just on the kneading phase. So until then, I will try to mute.
Yeah, it does. It does creaks like.
Yeah, it does. It like shakes the whatever surface it's on.
Like a fucking 16th century wagon.
I really didn't think that it would be this obnoxious, so I promise not to make bread in the future.
I don't think anybody's gonna care. I just heard like what sounded like sneakers on a gym floor, and it's pretty funny.
Yeah, that's just the bread machine violently shaking my counters.
Well, I hope the bread is good.
I'm sure it will be.
Okay, so that's what we watched, and there was like very little movie or TV news. The official trailer for Clerks 3 came out, which you probably don't.
I have no opinion on this because I haven't. Yeah, did you show me Clerks?
I think I did, and Clerks 2. Clerks 2 has an insanely problematic section in the middle of it that I forgot about.
And I don't think I've seen 2. I probably have seen 1 with you at some point, but yeah. I don't think I've watched 2.
Clerks 1, or Clerks, I guess, by Kevin Smith, was a game changer and really like brought in the grunge era or capped it off. I can't remember what the timeline is. I think Clerks came out in like 94, 95. So I don't know. It was about the time where impressionable me was watching movies like that. And it changed my vocabulary too. I started cursing way more after that movie. But yeah, Clerks was one of my favorite movies. Just super dialogue heavy, nihilistic, asshole teenager stuff. It was fun. Clerks 3 trailer looks like a sitcom to me, and that's a little worrying.
I feel like we're just... I'm sure every era has had their share of this, but I feel like we're at a time where they're just kind of trying to hit us in the nostalgia now. And a lot of like movies from our youth are getting either remade or sequels. Yeah. And it just doesn't hit the same way. I think people are counting on the nostalgia watches, but I think it sometimes just has the opposite effect where you're like, I already have the perfect version of this. I don't need to rewrite history.
It's true. And there's a lot of that in the trailer. That's part of what turned me off is it seemed very fan servicey, which is getting annoying to me. I'm starting to really hate that about stuff.
Me too.
So I'll still watch it because I have like a loyalty to my youth or whatever. I'll still end up watching it, but I'm not expecting a ton from it. Although Clerks 2 was actually pretty good. The ending was poignant. It was like a good movie. It just had it does not hold up culturally.
Yeah, a lot of movies from that era don't.
Yeah. Okay. Tron turned 40 years old this week, which also made me feel really old.
I don't care. And the problem is,
Yeah.
the problem is, I feel like with this show so far, most of the things that are coming out, I'm like, I don't have an opinion about that, and I really should, I guess. But I've never seen Tron, so like, good for Tron.
You don't really need to. It was like the first film in history where the production used CGI. A lot of it. It was mind blowing at the time, and it created. I want to say it helped to create like the cyberpunk aesthetic.
Didn't Tron have like a recent iteration?
Yeah, Tron Legacy.
What were your thoughts on that?
I didn't really like it. I saw that in a theater actually. It was like in a lull in my mental stuff so I could actually go out. But I remember seeing that around Christmas in a IMAX 3D, and the visuals were cool, but the story kind of sucked. However, the soundtrack I listen to a lot still because it's Daft Punk. And that soundtrack's really good. But yeah, if you're not old, you won't give a fuck about Tron. And I can't remember if it holds up or not. I don't think it does because it's using like older computer terms.
Yeah, if it's the first use of CG, I'm assuming it doesn't quite.
It's actually Disney did it. So Disney like did pretty well actually. But it doesn't
I guess
all the way
that
hold
was
up.
Yeah. I think that was too broad. Like, how the effects in Jurassic Park are still like worlds above some modern stuff. Yeah, I think there's definitely versions of that truth.
Yeah. It's probably going to be like Avatar in 40 years. It was mind bending at the time and then just falls off a cliff at some point. I think that's what happened to Tron.
We come together on a huge silver screen because we need that, all of us. That indescribable feeling we get feels good in a place like this.
Hey, there's a lot of shit coming out.
And by shit, we mean shit.
I don't know. I don't want to be like jump to conclusion-y.
That's true. But like nothing we're particularly looking forward
shit
to.
In my mind. Probably gold in someone else's. This first one is it's Where the Crawdads Sing. All of these come out on July 15th. So Friday of this week, I think. So the first one is Where the Crawdads Sing. A woman who raised herself in the marshes of the Deep South becomes a suspect in the murder of a man she was once involved with. This sounds like The Piano to me. That's immediately like what I thought is I've seen this.
Yeah.
It's The Piano. And it's probably not like narratively similar to The Piano, but I didn't like The Piano. I don't really care about the Raised by Wolves type of characters.
No, but Daisy Edgar Jones is good. We really liked her in Fresh.
Yeah, she was Noah in Fresh. She was very good in that. The director I didn't really recognize. She doesn't have a lot of credits. And the writer I didn't really recognize. She doesn't have a lot of credits. It could be interesting. It's the premise is not the worst. I just think it's been done. But if you haven't seen The Piano, then you should probably just watch The Piano instead of this one because The Piano won Oscars.
Or wait for it to come out on VOD.
Who knows? Maybe we'll watch it. Maybe there will be like nothing else.
Maybe.
Coming down the line. The next is The Deer King, who if I was a different person, I feel like I would be excited about. This is an anime action adventure, and the animation looked like a name that I'm gonna butcher. Princess
Mononoke?
Mononoke. Thank you.
Why do I know that and you don't?
I'm not really big into anime.
I'm not either.
I know Studio Ghibli.
Yeah.
And Princess Mononoke.
I think so.
And this animation like looked like that, so I assume it's I assume anime nerds are happy about this movie.
We assume you big fucking loser nerds.
So it's the last survivor of a band of warriors is enslaved in a salt mine. One night, savage dogs attack and a mysterious disease wipes out everyone at the mine. The warrior escapes with a little girl while a gifted physician looks for a cure. That's actually dope. I just wish it wasn't anime.
Yeah.
I would watch it otherwise, but that animation style I'm not a big fan of.
Yeah, I can't do it.
Next is another. It's not anime.
Animated.
It's animated action comedy called Paws of Fury: The Legend of Hank.
Why did you even include this?
Because it's coming out. We're not the only people on the planet. I feel like someone's got kids and maybe...
For all the kids listening to this show right now.
For all the kids, I don't know. When what did I say? What did we say was a joke? It was another animated one.
I don't even know.
I can't remember. People in the Discord said I love that movie though. It was Minions.
Oh yeah.
we shit all over Minions, and people were like, "I love Minions," and then my opinion of those people dwindled a little bit.
Yeah. Hey, good news! My bread machine stopped kneading.
Hell yeah! No more basketball game in the background.
Heck yeah.
So Hank, a lovable dog with a head full of dreams about becoming a samurai, sets off in search of his destiny.
Yeah. Go Hank.
Yeah. So I thought I would just mention this for people with kids or people who like anime. There are definitely adults who like animated stuff, and I'm not even judging. I don't care.
I wonder honestly how much of that is just Disney animated stuff and how much of it is like any animated stuff, because I'd be more inclined to watch it if it was Disney versus anything else.
Miriam will go to a theater full of kids. Miriam does that on the regular. If it's got like a cute, like, what's the one with the dragon?
Oh, yeah. How to Train Your Dragon?
Maybe, yeah. How to Train Your Dragon. If it's got like a cute animal that acts doofy, she's going to go watch that in the theater probably.
Yeah, well.
I don't know about this one though. And the last one on the list is Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris. There's nothing I care about less than this. It's a window.
You said windowed.
Oh, I'm sorry. A widowed cleaning lady in 1950s London falls madly in love with a couture Dior dress and decides that she must have one of her own. I'm really invested in whether or not she gets that shit. So I'm gonna definitely watch this.
What if it's the best movie in the world and you missed out because you judged
There's
it?
Not a fucking chance this movie's good to anyone under 90. You can go ahead. You can like email us if you see this or if you want to see this. Email us at hello@idiots.fm and then I can block you. You can go listen to some other podcast.
I assume there is a market for this because shows. Well, okay, you're right about the age part though.
Dude, this
seems like anyone with an Acorn subscription might like this.
What is that? Acorn?
It's the Acorn, yeah, it's the streaming service for like British shows.
Oh, Acorn.
Yeah.
This didn't even look like that to me. This looks terrible. It doesn't look watchable, and it's about a dress. Who gives a fuck? It's like some old and she didn't even look poor or anything. So it looked like some middle class lady chasing after some fucking dress.
You have a note here about a confirmed wet man in this cast by the name of Lucas Bravo.
Yeah.
And I looked him up, and he looks like a young Dan Stevens, kind of.
Uh-huh.
But like brunette. So yeah, I can confirm.
Hell yeah. I think it's funny that I put wet man confirmation in our show rundown. I think there's another one too.
Part of the vernacular now.
Yeah. Miriam hates it, confirmed.
Cool.
She hates wet man. But we can't really stop it. It's just in the lexicon now.
Yeah, you've started it now, and now I'm using it unironically, so it's too late.
So this is where we would normally guess Rotten Tomato critic and user ratings, but I don't give a fuck.
Shit.
Yeah, I don't feel like writing them down even.
No.
That's more effort than I even want to give.
Yeah.
All right. So there is some interesting stuff coming to streaming this week. The first is The Sea Beast on Netflix, which is an animated adventure / comedy. When a young girl stows away on the ship of a legendary sea monster hunter, they launch an epic journey into uncharted waters and make history to boot. This one has Carl Urban in it as the lead. And then two of Felicia's favorite men.
Yeah.
Dan, the aforementioned Dan Stevens, who was in that weird robot hooker thing, and Jared Harris.
First of all, not a hooker. And second of all, you liked that movie.
I did. It was subtitled. I can't remember what it was called.
It's called I'm Your Man.
I'm Your Man. And Dan Stevens was a robot sex worker.
Not
How would you describe him?
He's a robot companion. Like, he's built for
fucking,
making the perfect partner. He's built
fuck.
to your specifications, and like the whole movie is
built
about
with the
whether
exact
or not
penis you want to fuck you.
I'm sure that's part of it, but it's like a whole movie about whether or not AI is capable of like being in society, like whether they should be allowed into society, whether that's moral or not.
Yeah, I'm underselling it. It's a good movie, but
yes, you are. It's a very good movie.
But if it was real life, people would just fuck those things.
Oh yeah,
and nobody would care about their feelings.
I would absolutely sign up for that program.
So Dan Stevens, the fuckbot, and Jared Harris from The Terror, which we've talked about on this show before.
Yeah, Dan Stevens and Jared Harris are both actors that like I'll actively watch any movie just because they're in it.
Yeah. But the twist is this is an animated film, but I've heard it's very good actually, so I'm like a little bit intrigued by it.
Yeah, again, this is not one that I would pick up on my own, but that is a good cast. I like Carl Urban too. It's very funny though to see him go from The Boys, where he says cunt every other sentence, to like an animated film for kids.
Yeah. Of everything on our list, this is the one that people should watch this week. Everything I've read points to it being good.
Yeah.
The next thing on the list is Moonhaven on AMC Plus. This looks like dog shit. It's a skeptic in Paradise, Earth. Paradise, Earth. Paradise is capitalized. So it's a place on Earth. I'm saying that because as I was reading this log line, I was like, ugh. So a skeptic in Paradise, Earth pilot. It's not even written well. I can't even say it because of how badly this shit's written. A skeptic in Paradise, Earth pilot Bella Sway is sucked into a conspiracy to gain control of Moonhaven, a utopian colony on the moon 100 years in the future.
Yeah, I don't care.
The only reason I added this is because it's got Dominic Moynihan and Joe
Manganiello.
Thank you. I fuck his name up. Why did I want to call him like Maglietto?
I don't know.
Yeah, it looks like trash. You should probably not watch it. It probably shouldn't exist.
AMC does have some promising shows, but that does not sound like one that would appeal to me.
I'm gonna tell you, when I saw the AMC part on the trailer when I was doing research for the show, and it's called Moonhaven, I got excited because I was like, "That's an AMC show. It's got moon in the title. That's sci-fi, probably. That's gonna be sick." And then I looked. And then it ruined everything when I first the logline is stupid. Yeah. And it just doesn't look good. Something that does look good is Blackbird on Apple TV Plus, and that's a crime drama thriller. And the logline is Jimmy Keene is sentenced to 10 years in a minimum security prison, but he cuts a deal with the FBI to befriend a suspected serial killer. Keene has to elicit a confession from Larry Hall to find the bodies of as many as 18 women. And it's got Taron Egerton in it, Greg Kinnear, and Ray Liotta, the late Ray Liotta. This one looked good.
Yeah, that does look good.
I looked at the trailer. The premise is cool. And I think this one's gonna be good. So I might actually check this one out on my own.
Yeah.
The next one on the list is Trigger Point on Peacock. This is an action crime drama. And it's a drama series following Lena Washington, an experienced bomb disposal officer working for the Metropolitan Police. This one's intriguing to me because it was one of the most popular shows in the UK.
That seems like a stressful premise.
Yeah, it is stressful. And the other thing that I like is it keeps the UK's like episodic format. So it's 6 episodes, and I tend to like that.
Yeah, that's nice. Good little bite-sized show.
Yeah, and they're all out at the same time, so it's bingey.
Yeah.
So if you like bingey things and that sounds promising, an experienced bomb disposal officer is probably tense as fuck. Check that out. So that's Trigger Point on Peacock. The next one I thought you might be interested in, which is Maggie on Hulu, and that's a comedy. A young woman tries to cope with life while coming to terms with her abilities as a psychic. She can see everyone's futures, but her present is a mess. Stars Rebecca Rittenhouse, who played Michelle Phillips in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Michelle Phillips is from The Mamas and the Papas.
My dad once sold a car to someone from The Mamas and the Papas.
Really?
Yeah.
Weird.
I know.
Super weird. I wonder if it was her.
It wasn't her. It was a dude, but I don't remember who it was.
Oh, one of the Papas.
Yeah, it was one of the Papas. My dad used to like fix up and sell old cars, so he sold one to them.
That's sick. Your dad sounds cool.
He can be.
So yeah, that's Maggie on Hulu. I don't know. It's a comedy. It looks a little lighthearted, and the premise is okay enough. It's been done before, but who knows? Maybe it's okay. And the last thing on the list is America the Beautiful on Disney Plus, and this is a nature documentary that came out on July 4th. And it's a series that looks at the varied lands and animals that populate the United States of America. It has some amazing video footage showing creatures in the swamps of the Southeast U.S., animals that roam the American Southwest, and much more. And the draw is that it's narrated by Michael B. Jordan, who I like a lot.
That's fun. I was actually just having a conversation with a friend about like whether I still watch nature shows, because as a kid, I used to fucking love Animal Planet. Like Steve Irwin and Jeff Corwin were my shit. But like as an adult, I just generally have no patience for documentaries, and I feel like I'd get a couple minutes into this and fall asleep.
Yeah, they put me to sleep. This one especially, I think. I watch space shit. Like I'll watch anything space related. Yeah, I know. But you love the sea like I love space.
I do love the sea, but I still don't watch like sea documentaries. I guess if I were to pick one, I would do that because there's so much shit we don't know about the ocean and all kinds of weird ass creatures in there. But
so you never watched Planet Earth? Oh man, I implore you to watch that. You would not sleep through Planet Earth. Or the other one, I'm drawing a blank on the name. It's about the oceans. It's not. I desperately want to say Planet Water, but I know for sure it's not Planet Water.
What's the one? Is it Planet Earth where Benedict Cumberbatch does the penguin episode and can't say penguins?
I don't know, but that sounds great.
Like keep saying penguins.
No, so there's a Planet Earth that was narrated by David Attenborough from the UK. That's the one that I love. And then they redid it, and it's still good. I think the US one's narrated by Oprah, if I'm not mistaken. But the way that they edit them makes them unboring. I guarantee you would enjoy it. I think everyone I've ever talked, this is another one of those. Everyone I've ever talked to who's watched Planet Earth has loved it. And it's for good reason. Like it's really compelling.
I think it's another one of those shows where like certainly you could get into if you sat down and watched it, but it's never something I think about when I'm looking for things to watch.
Damn, I really wish I could think of the water one.
Someone will tell us. Tweet at us.
Yeah, someone tweet at us or in the Discord or
tell
email us.
Tell us what Planet Water is really called.
What the fuck is Planet Water called? Yeah, those aren't boring. Those two aren't boring. Every other nature documentary is boring to me, though. Okay. So that brings us to what we're watching this week for our watch along.
Yes.
Which is Empire Records.
Yes. As we, listed all the things coming to streaming and found that none of them seemed particularly interesting, we decided to pick our own.
Yep. Well, there's interesting things streaming TV-wise, but not movies. Yeah, so we picked Empire Records, and we picked it because it's one of my favorite movies, and Felicia hasn't seen it. The runtime is a tight 90 minutes, which I feel like is perfect for this. And also, what we were talking about earlier with Brett Register from the Dream Warriors, he edited Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. And then I was like, Brett, I'm going to edit Empire Records and take all the music out of it. And so I did that. And then that reminded me that I love Empire Records.
So you've literally just watched through this entire movie.
I scrubbed through it. I didn't watch the actual movie. Like, I was just scrubbing through it looking for any scenes with music in them. And then I took out the music. Which completely and utterly changes this movie. This movie is built on its music, and I'm really excited for you to see it and then realize that.
But also, it does have Liv Tyler in it, and that's your girl.
This might have started that Liv Tyler. It was this and Armageddon.
I think this started the Liv Tyler love for a lot of people.
Yeah, she's extraordinarily hot in this movie, like on another plane of existence hot. It was also directed by Alan Moyle, who directed Pump Up the Volume, which is another one of my favorite movies that I think I made you watch.
I don't remember if you did.
It's got Christian Slater. He's like running a pirate radio station.
Yes.
That movie probably doesn't hold up, but I love it. And I love the microcosm of 80s cheese that's in it. It's just great. But yeah, Alan Moyle directed both of those. Empire Records is not as goofy as Pump Up the Volume. I think you're really gonna like Empire Records.
We shall see.
But we'll see. We'll see about it. So it stars Rory Cochrane, Liv Tyler, who you mentioned, Renee Zellweger, and Ethan Embry, and Robin Tunney. I just wrote down the teens. I should have probably written down the adults, but
doesn't matter.
I don't. It does. I should have written them. One does for sure. I should have written it down. Sorry. If you happen to be listening, I'm sorry I fucked your credit up.
Anthony LaPaglia as Joe
Yeah,
Reeves.
that's him. Yep, Joe's a big character. Thank you for looking it up. Also starring in this movie is its soundtrack. The soundtrack is a character itself, and it's like it's a who's who of 90s alternative. It's got the Gin Blossoms, the Cranberries, Toad the Wet Sprocket, Cracker, Better Than Ezra. There's a band called the Martinis who weren't signed, who do a very important song in this film. And the Martinis had Joey Santiago and Dave Lovering from the Pixies in it, which I didn't know before I did the research for this, and that's nuts. I didn't realize it had that song was by an unsigned band that had two of the Pixies in it.
Cool.
Crazy. It's also got Coyote Shivers, who is an unsigned singer-songwriter, and I think maybe only for this movie. I'm not totally sure if he had a career before. He might have had one like after it. I don't know. He's a potential wet man I have here. He plays Burko. So remember the name Burko, and when you see Burko, you have to, in the watch along, you have to signal whether or not that's an actual wet man.
Looking at the modern cast through IMDb, I'm gonna say no.
No, not the modern. I think.
I'll look at the character.
I think 1995 Burko might be up your alley. I don't know yet. And the weird thing is his song is like incredibly important to the movie. So among these giants of the industry, this Coyote Shivers actor just wrote a song that was super important and like I think might be the most important song in the movie. When we do the watch along, I'll point that out.
Cool.
All right. That's all for this week. That Empire Records watch along should drop on our podcast feed on Friday at 7 a.m.
Yeah.
Oh, and also on YouTube, if you go to the top of our website at www.idiots.fm and click on the YouTube icon, if you wouldn't mind subscribing, we need 100 people so we can get an actual channel name, so I can send people directly there. And like I said earlier, I'm going to start editing the videos on that channel so they're actually like really useful to use the YouTube videos for the watch along. Yeah. So that you can see the time codes.
I need to subscribe to that. I haven't even done that yet.
That's all good. We're still in the early stages of the pod. Yeah. We're just getting everything settled. I'm still trying to figure out best ways to edit stuff and all of that stuff, but hopefully you guys are liking it.
Yeah, and if you hate us, don't tell us because it's going to hurt our feelings.
Yes, don't. Please, whatever you do, don't tell us. See you next Wednesday.
Wow,
we did it. Ooh, that's not the right one. That's
No,
your
it
song
certainly
that I wrote.
isn't.
Should I play
Nope,
that one?
shouldn't. No, I don't think so. I don't think it's got like wrapping up energy.
I thought it was wonderful, and people told me it was wonderful.
I don't think. I kind of disagree.
Wow, we did it!
Wow.
Wow, go back to episode 4. Listen to that theme song I made about Felicia.
Because you'll never hear it again.
Bye. You've been listening to Two Idiots Talking Over Stuff, produced by Jesse Stillwell, with original theme and outro music by Jesse Stillwell. For more information, you can visit www.idiots.fm or reach out directly via email to contact@idiots.fm.